an intercourse with your wife and you are squeezing the breast because you are hungry, squeezing, and the woman is not talking. She said, no, it's not squeeze, just caress. Caress is not, but because she doesn't want to say anything, she'll be there. You are squeezing and she's not feeling good. She's feeling pain, but nobody's talking. And before you know it, avoidance. So you either go into avoidance or adaptation. When you don't come, we also have people that are danger zones. Now you are sitting down here right now, everybody's looking normal, looking prim and proper, but you don't know who is HIV positive. Yeah, you don't know who is HIV positive, but that's a danger zone. You are sitting down here right now, you don't know who is a time bomber that has insecurity issue. You don't know someone that has anger issue. You don't know because they are sitting down, they are all dressed up looking okay. There are people sitting down here right now, you don't know who is a promiscuous person that has problem with perversion. You don't know someone that has a mental health issue. So we have all kinds of people that are danger zones, and that's why one of the new rules of love is you should avoid danger zones. That means you should never get into that place. You know, I told you last week, never take your heart on a journey without your brain. And that's because every time your heart is the passenger and your heart is the driver and your brain is the passenger in the vehicle of your life, accident is inevitable. So don't get into danger zones. When you see a sign, don't ever think that somebody will just change like that. Someone, you are meeting with someone and every little thing they're hungry, every little thing they are insecure, every little thing they are just acting out. That's a child. They might look like an adult, but that's a child trapped in an adult body. And people that throw tantrums. So you need to be very, very sensitive to observe, sensitive to watch. What are the things that people are doing that will reveal to you that this person is a danger zone? By the time somebody is telling you, let's put the Bible aside, let's put the Bible aside, forget Bible. Hey, that's a warning signal. That means that there is a realm in the life of that person where the word of God does not have any effect. There are realms in the life of that person where the word of God is not what controls what they do or controls what they believe. So you need to avoid danger zones. You need to avoid danger zones. So an angry person is a danger zone. An insecure person is a danger zone. A non-believer, an unbeliever is a danger zone. A promiscuous and immoral person is a danger zone. A stingy person is a danger zone. Someone that is bound to their past, that is not yet healed from their past, danger zones, or else you'll become a victim of all their past issues. So you need to ensure that you do not get into danger zones lest you submit yourself to a life of confusion and a life of all kinds of evil. Next, the next new rule of love is that consequences are now greater and faster. Consequences are now greater and faster. Please listen and listen well. We live in a world where whatever you do has consequences. There are consequences for every action. There are consequences for everything that you do. And many people don't understand that. They just feel that, oh, I can do this and get away with it. I can do this and get away with it. And you see, one of the amazing things about consequences is that now it is greater and now it is faster. And sometimes, if not most of the time, the consequences start unknown and unnoticed. So I give you an example. We have just come out of COVID. And many of us saw the devastation of COVID in the life of people. Now, if you kiss someone that has COVID, let's say you kiss someone that has COVID. Now, the very minute you kiss them, will you feel any electric shock? Is it that when you kiss them, no, COVID? No, you won't feel anything. But there's a consequence. If you get involved in premarital sex and you are a fornicator, when you are doing your fornication, will you feel any electricity to say, hey, you have carried HIV? No, but consequences have entered. Many times people don't realize that consequences are now faster and greater because when consequences come, they don't announce themselves. They don't bring a loudspeaker. They just enter. And then before you know it, sometimes it will take a year, sometimes it will take years, sometimes months for you to realize that that thing you did last month, that action you took last year is now producing the result that you see now. It is very, very important for us to know that consequences are now faster and greater. So don't get involved in anything that you know you should not get involved in. Don't get involved in anything that you know should be avoided as a child of God. Next, the next new rule of love is to know that men are different from women. Men are different from women. We have what we call the gender uniqueness, the uniqueness of each gender. A man wrote a book many years ago, Men Are From Mars, Women Are From Venus. And one of the things he was trying to unfold to us to understand is the fact that men and women seem to come from two different planets, and they seem to speak two different languages and act two different ways. And one of the things you need to understand is that as an individual, if you don't understand that men and women are different, you're going to get into trouble. Now later on in the course of this series, I'm going to take you on an entire module on the uniqueness of each gender, how that a man is different from a woman, and then we'll look at all the differences between the man and the woman. So we're not going to focus extensively on that in this part. But one of the things you need to understand, let me just give you a few of that, is that men are logical while women are emotional. Now, when we say men are logical, does it mean women are not logical? No. When we say women are emotional, does it mean men are not emotional? No. But one of the things you tend to realize is that it is more of a tendency, and it is not a law cast in stone. So some men are emotional, some women are logical, and sometimes you see an interplay of that in the life of people. So men tend to be more logical than emotional, while women tend to be more emotional than logical. And you see, men are more of headliners. So most of the time when you meet with a man, or a man had gone through an experience and you want him to recount what he has gone through, he's just going to give you an abbreviated version. He's just going to give you the short version. But when you meet with a woman and ask how the day was or how the experience was, she's going to give you a full version and give insight into other areas that you probably will not hear if you are only listening to the man. So men are different from women. There's a uniqueness of each gender. We are not better than women. Women are not better than us, but we are different. So it's all about being different. It's not about being better. And we need to understand that as we continue to look at the new rules of love. The next one is, we all have a love language. We're going to look at the language of love. I think it's going to be one of the modules we also look at. So we'll deal with that extensively, but there are love languages. Love as a language. And I think I've shared with us earlier on in the course of this journey that I think we've already done love languages. Yeah, we've done that already. Yeah, we've done that. So the language of love. So we all have a love language. We've done love language already. So I think we did that in February. Yeah, I think we did that in February. So now we need to understand that those languages that we looked at, I think we looked at the 5 love languages. And you need to understand that if you want to love someone, you have to find out what their love language is. Because like I said to us when we looked at the model of on love languages, I said that people tend to love people and express love in a way that makes them to feel loving, instead of in a way that makes the other person to feel loved. So you need to find out, and that's what communication is all about. Because you don't want to surprise someone that does not love surprises, and you end up being the one that will be surprised. You don't want to go and do something that you will have taken, gone through all the effort and spent money, and then the other person will feel, what's all this? And then you feel, you feel sad and you feel bad off to them. So my money, and they don't appreciate it. They may not appreciate it because it's not something that speaks love to them. So you need to understand that we all have a love language, and one of the new rules of love is to understand that everybody has a love language, to identify what their love language is, and then to be able to help them to flow in that dimension. Next, no relationship can survive without third parties. No relationship can survive without third parties. One of the major error that has affected relationship for generations is this idea of never bring a third party into your relationship. It's a major error. It has destroyed a lot of homes. It has messed up a lot of families, because a lot of people, just because they have followed that counsel, have ended up seeing their homes and their marriages destroyed, and coming up in a situation where things that could have been salvaged could not be salvaged, because by the time they came out, it was like stage 4 cancer. Listen to me. If you ask medical doctors, they will tell you, as long as you can diagnose an ailment early, is there's early diagnosis and early discovery, most of the diseases and most of the ailments that kill people will not be able to kill people. Even cancer, when you track down cancer at stage 1, stage 2, it's still something that can be dealt with. But by the time it gets to stage 3, stage 4, then you are talking of the supernatural. So when it comes to relationship, listen and listen well. Every man, every woman that goes into a relationship is not perfect. Every man, every woman that goes into a relationship needs other people to be a part of that relationship. And most of the time, like I said to you a few weeks ago, in the same statement where they are saying don't allow a third party, in that same statement they are saying marriage is between a man, a woman, and God. Is that not already third party? So God himself is a third party. So no marriage can survive without third parties. God himself being a third party. So what you need is to know that in your relationship you need matured third party. You need trained third party. You need experienced third party. You need spiritual third party. You need disciplined third party. You need the third party that will come and help you in your relationship. So please listen and listen well. If you're in a relationship with anyone, whether you're single or you're married, and there is an issue that the two of you cannot resolve, anytime you have an issue that the two of you cannot agree on, an issue that the two of you have not been able to resolve, you need an external party that is objective to come in and help the two of you to see clearly. Because sometimes you are saying the same thing but from two different perspectives, and someone that is not emotionally attached to the discussion can now come in and help you to see things objectively. So please, let's note that we need people in our lives. You just need to be sure that the third party is the right kind of third party. Next, there are inevitable stages as you enter into marriage. One of the new rules of love that you need to know is that when you get married, there are inevitable stages that marriage will go through. Many times people are not told this. They are not told, and so they come into the marriage and they don't realize that Many of the things that they are going through, if they have been told, they will know how to go through it. I remember many years ago, I went to Benin to preach for Bishop Chibundu a few years back. And then one of our members here, she was in the choir, she got married to a minister in Benin, and they are relocated to Benin. And in that meeting, the guy came to see me with our sister. They came to the hotel to see me, two of them. And the man said, "Sir, I want to thank God for the marriage committee of the church. That if not, sir, by now, this marriage will have been over." I said, so soon? He said, that my friend got married and in 8 months they are divorced. I said, what? 8 months? He said, yes. And he said that all the book recommendation that the marriage committee gave to them, even your daughter did not read it. It's me that read it. It's me. I read everything, and I knew that, okay, based on what they have taught us, this is going to happen. These are the differences that can happen. So I prepared myself. So when it began to happen, I was telling her, hey, relax. They have told us. I took her back to the manual. This is what they were saying. That book is in this chapter. And he said that's what God has used to help us. So listen and listen well. The very minute you get married, because you are in church, thou shalt not fornicate. You are in church, you get engaged to someone, and then there are all kinds of boundaries. And because you want to live right and be an ambassador of God and live in righteousness, you don't get involved in all kinds of immorality. But you are waiting for that day. Hey, when we get married like this, hey, heaven will fall. So you are waiting for the day when you will consummate the marriage. So when people get married, the very first stage that people normally face when they get married is what we call the honeymoon stage or the honeymoon phase. Now, the honeymoon stage or the honeymoon phase is that new season. You are married, you are just getting to know each other, you are enjoying the joy of sexual union, you are enjoying, you are probably on holiday, you are probably not going to work, you are probably abroad, or you are in an hotel somewhere, you are in your room service, you are not cooking, you are not thinking also, you are just enjoying yourself. Depending on who you are, depending on the state of your life, that can last for between 1 month to 1 year. Honeymoon. But guess what? For some people, it is the very week or the very month that they start expiring. Honeymoon will begin to expire. The next stage that normally comes immediately after honeymoon is what we call the realization stage. The realization stage. Now, at the realization stage, you just suddenly begin to realize that there are some things that you are seeing. There are some things that are beginning to show up that you are not aware of. So for instance, because you're a Christian, you've never slept in the same room or slept on the same bed with the person you're getting married to. Now you are married, you get to the room, you sleep, and this beautiful man, beautiful woman, handsome guy, you get to the bed and the guy begins to snore. And he's going, and this dangerous one, and the one that goes on gear one. And then, so what do? You're like, hey! It seems as if we are going to have 2 separate bedrooms. How can you have 2 separate rooms when you are not a grandmother? So before you know it, you now begin to realize that this man snores, or this beautiful woman that looks so powerful. By the time she starts the snoring, it is like, and you're like, are you speaking or snoring? Look, when you marry, you will see all kinds of stuff. And then you wake up the next morning, and then you see that the woman have drooled, or the guy has all kinds of mucor in their mouth, in their face, and the beautiful person you saw, you are now seeing the real person you are going to stay with. Because people don't wake up made up. They don't wake up made up. They don't wake up with eyelashes and with makeup, cream, everywhere looking normal. No. And that is why before you marry, try and visit the man or the woman before early morning or late to see how they are natural, not all the one they have given you all the fake hair, fake eyelashes, fake this, fake that. Because many of the things you are seeing, abracadabra, the more you look, the less you see. So make sure that you understand. So the first stage is what? The honeymoon stage. The next stage is realization stage. You begin to realize that this guy is dirty, this lady cannot cook, this lady is dirty, this guy is rude, this guy snores. And you begin to see a lot of things that you're like, hello, because you have been living alone most likely, you have been used to your space, and now somebody is invading your space, and then the person is farting, and you are eating on the table, and you're here, and your voice, you say, what's wrong with that? And so how do you cope? These are realities. And then the person will just give you, and then there are some that doesn't even make noise. That fart that makes noise is the one that does not smell. The one that is that one, no noise. You will just see that the atmosphere has been transformed. And he said, this beautiful woman, you are the one that released this toxic into the atmosphere. But you have to now fall in love with the fat. You can't be too sensitive. Excuse me, don't fart here. Do you know that there are couples that cannot be in the toilet with each other? Somebody is pooping, somebody else is brushing teeth. They can't do it. These are the realities. You can't say you are pooping, I want to brush. You better enter and be brushing and be enjoying everything together. These are the realities. So the very minute you cross honeymoon, the next stage is realization stage. Now, this is why a lot of people begin to have problems. Because when they get to that realization stage, they now have options. Option 1 is avoidance. Option 2 is adaptation. That is where trouble starts. So a lot of people, because they are not friends, they have not developed a friendship in their relationship, because they don't communicate effectively, they are afraid to say something that will hurt the other person. They are afraid to bring it up. They are afraid to talk about this. And for even for some people, it's even in the matter of sex. You get married and then you are having sex and intercourse with your wife and you are squeezing the breast because you are hungry, squeezing. And the woman is not talking. She said, no, it's not squeeze, just caress. Caress is not, but because she doesn't want to say anything, she'll be there. You are squeezing and she's not feeling good. She's feeling pain, but nobody's talking. And before you know it, avoidance. So you either go into avoidance or adaptation. When you don't communicate and you don't discuss and you are not open to talk about the things that are beginning to come up, you're going to begin to avoid each other. Unconsciously, there's going to begin to be a gap. But when you begin to discuss and you communicate, then you begin to adapt. You now understand that, oh, it's normal. Oh, you now understand that, oh, this person normally wakes up in the night. Oh, this one is a day person. You understand that, oh, he doesn't like hot food. Oh, he likes hot food. You now begin to understand, begin to adapt. Because whether you like it or not, there are some things you will discover about your partner that will never change. Never. As in Never capital, never. So you have to be ready to, okay, for instance, if your partner snores, please, what's the medicine for snoring? No, because you people are international people now. What's the medicine for snoring? So before they sleep now, they will now say, oh no, pastor, there is a device. You now put the device and the person is sleeping. And then it will now be late to rest. And rest in peace. And you wake up the next morning, the person is gone. God forbid bad thing. Hello. So some of the things that are trouble to you, after a while, the snoring will become music to your ears. And you even begin to dance to the snore. Snorri, snorri. So there are inevitable stages. So stage 1 is what? Honeymoon. Stage 2, realization. Stage 3, adaptation or what? Or avoidance. When you go through the routes of adaptation, the next stage will be understanding. The next stage will be intimacy. Adaptation, understanding, intimacy. Because intimacy is more than sex. But when you go through the phrase of avoidance will lead to separation. Separation will end up in divorce, or it will end up in coping. You are just managing and enduring the relationship. So the very minute you start avoiding issues, you don't talk about what you should talk about, you are moving towards separation and divorce, or towards having to endure the marriage. And then you see people that are married 10, 15, 20 years and they don't really have any excitement in the marriage. They're just going through a routine. These are very, very important for anyone that wants to succeed maritally, and that's why it's called the new rules of love. Hallelujah, hallelujah. Can you just lift up your hands and give thanks to God? Give thanks to God, give him all the glory, give him all the praise. Let's thank him for this word. Let's worship him. Let's adore him. Let's magnify his holy name and pray that God will give us the wisdom to be able to manage the seasons and the stages of our life. Open your mouth and make that prayer. Make that your prayer. Lord, give me the wisdom and the grace to manage the seasons of our lives.